Oh, Canada. I don't know anymore. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. If you're new, hi, my name is Jo and I do nail stuff. She does stuff with nail stuff, and the stuff she does with nails is done with nail stuff and stuff for nails. Canada Day. After a few requests and not wanting to leave out our favourite cousins, I'm going to do a couple of nails for July the 1st, which is Canada Day. So I'm starting with Alaska, which is a gel perfection polish, as are all the polishes in this video, and you can find them at diamondglitters.co.uk, and you can use code TEAMDG for a discount. I have done 2 coats of that. I probably could have done just the strip down the middle. No, 2 coats of this. And now I'm taking Royal Red, and I'm going to do the Canada. Well, I'm not going to do the Canada flag. I tried to do that. I did that. It just, I don't know if I show you in this video or whether I cut it out, but I didn't do the best job. That maple leaf is really hard to draw. So I'm starting with a long striping brush, which is from somewhere on the internet. I don't remember where I got it from, and it doesn't have any branding on it, but I just would have searched extra long striping brush. And I'm letting the brush do most of the work. I'm plopping. Well, I said that last time, plopping. It's disgusting. Quite a bit on my brush there, just so I can put a bunch on that bit and then use it to spread it out to fill in the gap. That wasn't very clear. I just put a lot on my brush and used that and spread it out to fill in the gap. That's what I just said. But as I lay my brush down to do the initial line, I just I do what I'm doing here. Just lay the brush on there and then pull it. I know, that sounds ridiculous. Of course that's what you do, but don't overthink it. I know that sounds silly as well, but when doing a stripe, I remember on a client once I was doing just a straight line down a really long coffin nail down the center, and I just kept messing it up. And then I just said to myself, right, just do a bloody line, woman. And I did it. So just, tell yourself off. Don't dilly-dally and go slow. Just do the damn line and you'll be fine. That's my advice for the day. I'm now mentally marking where the center of the nail is. And I'm going to do an N and an A so that the N is just above where this sort of imaginary line is and the A is just below. And I'm going to write Canada. Canada! I did do one nail that was the whole, frog in my throat, beg your pardon, that was the whole maple leaf. And it's really hard to draw. So I thought, why not draw it 50 times smaller than the one that I didn't do very well? Sometimes things are easier to draw smaller because you can get away with it not looking as good. So that's what we're going to do here. Oh no, is this going to be one of those voiceovers? I think so. I should just stop talking now and just turn the music off. I'm going to, I wrote nada, and then flash cured it. And then when I do the C at the top, I will full cure before, because I'm not going to do the second A. We are going to put the maple leaf in place of the A. Might have looked better in place of a different... No, I think an A. I think an A is probably the best letter for that to be there instead of... Oh dear, Joseph. And I've switched to a shorter... am I shouting? Sorry. I've switched to a shorter brush, detail brush, which is from Crystal Nails. This is the 0 Short. Actually, while I'm doing these letters, let me tell you about something. I'm going to plug one of my friend's business because, that's what friends are for. It's called PIXIE BELLE bows, and it's my friend Ella, and she hand makes these bows, and they are so flinging cute. So she now has an Etsy shop for those. I'm going to put some little pictures on the screen for you so you can see how cute they are, and I will put a link to her Etsy shop in the description of this video. It is UK shipping only, but you know, if you love them, then you could use one of those parcel motel, what is it called? Parcel hotel, where you kind of, it gives you like a digital address in the country that you want to buy for, and then they'll ship to you from there. But I'll put all the details below. So the C, you can see, is a C. And then I'm going to full cure the whole thing, just because I suspected I was going to cock up the maple leaf. And I think I did. I think this was the second time trying. So I've zoomed in, which is why the quality's not super great. I'm going to start with a straight line and then do a diagonal coming off evenly, like at the same angle on each side, and then add some very small little wings for those lines as well. And I found, and then, I'm joining up in little sort of curve, but it is more, I've spent a lot of time looking at that maple leaf over the last few days. So I know exactly how to draw one, but it's just, you know, the execution is quite tricky, because that comes down in a straight line, but it's at a slight angle, but it still meets another line, but that's at an angle going in the other way, but it somehow joins up. It makes perfect sense, but I just found it really difficult to do. So I'm doing it as small as I can. And then where I have joined the, this is, okay, I'm going to get technical now. Are you ready? The middle pokey out bits to the little pokey out bits either side of it, I did a little sort of curve, but I am going to make it more straight angles as opposed to having curves, because that's what it is on the flag. I mean, you could do any maple leaf here, you know, it would be clear what you're going for, but I was trying to get it as close as possible, because I don't want to offend anyone and make the flag look bad. I like the Canada flag, and do you know what I realized? I'll tell you in a sec. These bits here, you see the middle bit of the arm that I'm doing just looks like a little pokey up line. We don't want that. I didn't want that. So I do go and sort of fix them before I cure. And then it had little bits coming out at the bottom. It's kind of like, no, it's not like one of those leaves. Forget that. Nobody said that. So yes, here I'm just making them more, why can't I just have no words today? You can see what I'm doing. I don't want that to be just like a single line that sticks out the middle of each arm. I want to make it a sort of triangle, that middle line, the middle pokey out bit on the sides. Yeah, I'm going with that. That's it. I've explained it enough, I'm sure. This is so bad. I'm sorry. I'm curing it, and then I'm just going to go over it and kind of just go over it a little bit and maybe readjust some tiny areas if I needed to. It's a lot smaller than it is on your screen, so it doesn't look too bad in the flesh. But we're done with that one. Hopefully that kind of step by step with the line in the center, and then the angled ones, and then little angled ones coming off each of those, and then sort of join them all up and then making them triangular a bit at the top. Hopefully that's helpful. If not, I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. But I do like that one. So we've got Canada, because if I'd have done the maple leaf in the center of that, there would have just been like, you know, it would have been a tiny maple leaf and just a big block of white at the top and bottom. It could have done it sideways. So done the stripes, a stripe at the bottom and a stripe at the top, like horizontal, and then the maple leaf on its side. But I did it this way instead. I wanted to write the word Canada as well. It looks like if that word was a person, it would be friendly. Do you know what I mean? It's a friendly looking word. I'm now going to do a Mountie. I like Mountie. I like their uniforms. I think they're very smart. So I thought we'll do a Mountie, and I have painted using the bottle brush as much of the nail as possible, and then I'm taking a detail brush just to do to leave a blank V at the top, although I think I round that off a bit maybe with the second coat because I wanted it to be more rounded, and I would recommend doing it more rounded instead of V-shaped. But I did realise before curing that I want the bottom, a bit at the bottom, to be dark blue. So before I put it in the lamp, I will wipe some off, and then I will give that a full cure. And then I'm going to do 2 coats of that. And then on the bottom part, we're going to use Space Army, which is a navy blue, and do the bottom part with that colour. I looked at lots of pictures of Mounties, and I couldn't tell if the trousers were black or whether they were a dark blue. I've gone for blue, just, I don't know. I think most of the ones I saw were quite blue. And like I say, looked at a lot of pictures. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do this exactly how it's meant to look. So apologies if it's a bit wrong, but you get the gist. If you know the better way for it to be with regards to the details I do, then do it your way. It's now wiped because, oh no, I changed the V to a curve. So I'd already done the black lines, so I had to file them off and blah, blah, blah. But just ignore that, it's fine. So I'm going to do a black stripe down the center, and then one around the neckline. And then I think, and then one where the jacket meets the trousers in black, and then we'll cure that. And then I'm just going to flash cure everything as I go, just because we're going to be doing bits of detail, and it just, it's just safe that way. Because if you make a mistake, you need to wipe something off. You're not going to wipe the bit that you've previously done. I should have done this bit round as well. Oh, look, his neck's coloured in. I did that with butterscotch. Yes, butterscotch. I don't know how I've edited that out. Sorry, I filled in the neck area with butterscotch. But that V that I just did, I would recommend doing rounded and not to a point, just because it kind of makes this next step, the detail on his collar where it has a blue bit, kind of makes it a funny shape. So I'm going to do a little sort of V at either end of those lines, so that the red bits above the V's have those pointy bits. But yeah, if this was round at the bottom, it would have looked much better. But he's not a real Mountie, it's just a nail, so I don't think he's going to get into too much trouble with the state of his uniform. But yeah, do that bottom bit round. I've said that 50 times now. This is Space Army. And I think I just did 1 coat of this with the red underneath. It gave it the opacity to only need 1 coat. So I'll fill that in and then probably flash, and then get on with the next step. I haven't sped any of this up. I think I sped up a tiny bit earlier, doing the 2nd coat on the maple leaf. But everything else is normal speed, and I probably should have sped it up. Sorry. So I've cured that. I full cured that, because I'm now taking Alaska and I'm going to do little triangles. So I did look at the detail, and they have triangle like gold badges on the blue bits of the collar. And I think it had an animal head of sorts with some detail around it. I'm not sure which animal it was. But fear not, we're not going to be drawing an animal inside these tiny triangles, because I'm not a wizard. But if you want to, then you go ahead. You draw an animal in that tiny triangle. But we're not going to. We're just going to... I'm doing them in white first. I'm doing these triangles, and then I'll do the buttons and the trouser stripes in white first, because I'm going to then go over them with yellow. And obviously the yellow will be truer to itself if we do it on top of white than doing it on top of navy or red. So we're adding some little stripes down the side of his trousers. I haven't drawn a line in the center to kind of separate the legs, but this is maybe before the legs start. This is the area above where the legs meet. You know the one. And I've cured that, and I'm going to draw some pockets. I wanted these to be much bigger, but I just was, I didn't have the room to do them bigger. I could have possibly done, why didn't I do this? I should have just done the side of, the right side. No, that's left. The left side of that pocket and the right side of the pocket on the other side. Why didn't I think of that? Oh well, too late. So I'll do those in black and then probably flash or full cure. I will full cure, make sure that it's had a full cure before we go on to the yellow, because obviously we're putting that on top of another colour that hasn't had a full cure yet. So the pockets, I noticed just little things like the V that I'm doing here didn't come straight from the top corner of the pocket. It had, you know, it was further down, so it had more of a flap. And I'm adding Miss Sunshine to the badges on the collar. I just put a dot in between and then use that dot to kind of spread it out and cover the white. And then I'll do the same with the buttons and the stripes. I think with the buttons, did I use a brush? Hopefully. But they did get a bit too raised at one point, but we'll talk about that when it happens. Thank you all so much for your comments on my last video. I think I've replied to them all. I'm really sorry if I haven't. Lots of you really liked it. And since then, I've decided after the last video that I'm not going to call my brother Christopher anymore. I'm going to call him Christopher Cactus. And then, but he calls me, because he very rarely calls me, well, he doesn't call me Joe. He calls me Joanne, because my niece's mum is also called Joe. So he calls her Joe and me Joanne, or he calls me Sister Joe. Like I'm a nun. Oh, Sister Mary from school would be shocked to her core. But yeah, he calls me Sister Joe, so I'm going to call him Christopher Cactus. Right, where are we? Did I use a brush? I wasn't looking for the buttons. If I used a dotting tool again, I would recommend using a brush, because it did start to get raised and it kind of caused a problem in a minute, but we solved it. We didn't. I did. You weren't there. I just feel like you are there when I'm painting. Oh, I forgot that I missed out the little buttons on his pockets. Oh, why didn't I do? This is what you should do if you do this. Do the pockets much bigger, but just maybe half of one on each side. That would have been much better, because they look a bit too small. What's he going to put in there? Not much. Maybe a very small, like little golf pencil. Tiny notepad. Maybe tiny, you know those thin post-it notepads you can get that are just like a centimetre by like 4 centimetres. That's what they keep in them. So I'm adding blackout to the buttons now. I'm just doing a cross on them, just because they were they're not just plain round buttons. They were like quite fancy pants. And then that's my animal head, just a dot. I know, fantastic. And then I decided that the dot looked a bit silly, so we made a cross with a dot in the middle. And then I'm going to top everything with diamond gloss, of course, because I wanted to smooth the surface out for the next step, because those buttons had become quite raised, they were bumps. I wanted to smooth it out, so I'm going to top it. Here's what I should have done. I should have topped it. Those bastard pockets, why didn't I do them bigger? Oh well. I should have topped them with super gloss, because then I could have buffed it a bit and I wouldn't have, as you can see, got rid of the crosses we just did on the buttons. But we'll fix that in a minute. But I wanted to be able to paint this going diagonally, and I thought if this goes over a button, I don't want it to have a big lump in it. So that's why I topped and buffed. But if your buttons are completely flat, then you don't need to do that step. So I'm taking iced mocha and I'm going to do... Oh, you saw that I paused for a second there because I realised I'd messed up, but it was too late. I did the horizontal stripe, and then the diagonal one, in all the pictures I saw, went the other way, like across to the side of the coat with the buttons. But I kind of decided to stick with it like this because it would be too fussy, I think, having it on the button side. On a nail, not in real life, looks dashing. And then this pouch that they have is actually on the other side as well. So, oh wait, is he standing? He's looking in a mirror. No, that still wouldn't make sense. That pouch was on the side that was opposite to the side the strap was going on. the diagonal strap. But we're doing it this way because there was more room on that side because there was no buttons. So that's what we're doing there. And then we will outline all of that and give the little pouch. I wonder what he has in that pouch. Maybe a walkie-talkie, you know? Sierra Oscar, Tango 1 2 rubber ducky, that sort of thing. And then I give the pouch a little button as well, which I saw was also gold. And then I think we're done. Actually no, I go over the yellow buttons again with black and just redo the crosses. So you could, if your buttons are raised before you've done the black crosses on them, and then so you want to top and buff before doing the brown belt thing, then save the black detail of the buttons to the last step, because I buffed them off. But maybe if I'd used super gloss I wouldn't have. But anyway, we fix it, it's fine, don't worry. I hope you're all having a nice week. What day is it today? Thursday. I know this is supposed to go up in, oh shit, it's 9 o'clock. I thought it was 8 o'clock. I was going to say it's supposed to go up now. It's supposed to be up an hour ago, but I've had a day. So I'm going to do the little button here again, doing it with that's not yellow, it's white. Doing it with white first. I did cure that. I just cut that bit out somehow. And then re-adding the black detail over the buttons, and then give everything a full cure, and then we will top. And I do top with super gloss. And then I think that shall be all she wrote. I have got the next 2 videos in my head. I should really jot them down, draw them up on my tablet. The next one I think will be some more 4th of July, some flag ideas for that, because I've got some ideas for it. So if you're planning on doing a 4th of July set, then hold out, because there will be a few designs involving the US flag to come for that. Oh, look how bright and shiny he is now. Oh, doesn't he look smart? So that is my Canada Day nails. I hope you like them. I'm sorry if the Mountie is just all wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Come and say hello. That's the first 4th of July set I've done, so I'll leave a link to that in the description in case you want to watch that too. I appreciate you being here and watching, I really do. If you can, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for lots more videos. You can also follow Miss Jo's on Instagram at Miss Jo's Nail Co. I really do appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.